Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
David, how are you tonight? Seems a lot like last night. I'm in about the same
Groundhog
mood.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is I've been saying the Oilers are a weird team. They're not. They're a crappy defensive hockey team, is what they are. And they showed it again tonight. They gave up. They created 20 grade A shots. Most of almost half of them on the power play, but they gave up 20 grade A shots to the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks sliced them open again and again and again, and the Oilers just are a crappy defensive team, and it's everybody on the team at this point. Just as I was saying before the podcast started, they really miss Adam Larson. That shutdown defenseman. They ain't got him, and it's showing. And they are leaking grade A shots, and they don't have the answer. So anyway, Bruce, this is our
Missing
two
that
good
shutdown goalie too, David.
Yeah, you might say.
I saw one of those again tonight at the other end of the ice, Marc-Andre Fleury, that Chicago got for free shortly after they opened up the cap space in the trade that wasn't for free. And Marc-Andre Fleury was brilliant in tonight's game, and a big part of the reason why Chicago won. But you make a good point. Chicago is 17 wins, 30 losses. They came into this game, lost 8 of their last 9 games. And they came out looking like the 1977 Montreal Canadiens in the first period, and the Oilers had no answers.
No, Bruce, they don't know how. It seems like they don't know how to
Anybody.
play defense. Yeah, they just constantly give up 5 alarm shots, 2-on-1 rushes, odd man rushes. I mean, after last night's game, so many odd man rushes, but tonight it was just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 good things, 2 bad things, 2 numbers. What is your good thing?
Okay, well, I'm tempted to say that I didn't have to pay for the game tonight. My mini pack that I've been buying tickets for this year, the last 2 games I've seen the Oilers getting beaten down 4-1 by Minnesota and 6-0 by Florida. But at least tonight I only had to watch it for free on television. And I'm going to pick out as my faintest silver lining good thing, the play of Warren Fogle, who played on the third line with Ryan McLeod and Jesse Puljujarvi, of 3 strapping young fellows who carried the play. They didn't produce any goals, of course. The Oilers didn't produce any goals at 5-on-5, and those guys weren't getting a sniff of the power play. But Fogle, in his 15 minutes, produced 5 shots on net, including 2 high danger shots, according to Natural Stat Trick, and also had 5 hits. And he had just incredible shot shares, 22 shot attempts to 4 while he was on the ice tonight, 18-2 for Puljujarvi, and 19-5 for Ryan McLeod. So I think maybe they were getting slightly sheltered minutes, but they certainly played out their part of the game with aplomb. So
I didn't like
there's the
Puljujarvi's
silver
game,
line.
honestly. I didn't
Well,
like Puljujarvi's game. Like maybe they had lots of shots, but they weren't very many good ones, and he wasn't involved in them.
he had no shots on net
That
and
was
no hits.
Fogle.
Yeah, Fogle was the
Get
best
on
of the
those.
3 for sure.
Yeah. But I did like Fogle too, Bruce. I thought Fogle he led the team with 5 hits and just was a physical player and effective player. My good thing was the Oilers' power play. 4 power plays. They had 9 grade A shots of their 20 came on the power play. Most of those came on one brilliant power play in the second period where they scored their goal. I liked Evan Bouchard's work at the point. I thought he made a number of sound, smart decisions on the power play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 of the 9 came on that one power play. 6 grade A shots on one power play, where they ever zip it around. So the shooters were Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Kane, and then Draisaitl on the goal. And that was a great, just a fantastic passing play that leads up to Draisaitl's goal with Nuge hitting McDavid, then McDavid going again across, making a seam pass over to Kane, who fails on the tap in just barely, and Draisaitl, of course, slams it home. So that was good to see. I mean, didn't make up for the fact that Chicago not get 2 power play goals, so the Oilers were still outdone on special teams in this game because their penalty kill couldn't get it done. But power play looked good. They changed it up a little bit, and again, I think Bouchard is the right guy to have out there. He's got that shot, and they need that shot from the point. It's a better shot than Tyson Barrie's shot. So
he hammered one into a guy's shin pads in a similar manner as Barrie last night, but it didn't at least take that kind of favorable Argo bounce for the other team like last night's did, where it went right into his breakaway territory. Yeah, it's I mean, they did produce shots, and as you say, they got 1 goal on the power play, but they lost the special teams battle again. I guess out of a plethora of potential bad things, I'll pick the penalty kill. That went 2 for 4 tonight, only because the 4th one was a 17-second penalty and deep in garbage time in the dying seconds of the game. And even in those 17 seconds, they gave up 1 hammer of a shot off a lost face-off. The 3 penalty power plays they did get, and both these goals were killers. One was the 1-0 goal in the 2nd minute of the game. The Oilers hit the inside of the post. Nugent Hopkins tipped the guy going for the puck. Penalty kill, couldn't even keep it out for 30 seconds. And then that 1 cross seam pass, to me it looked like it beat all 4 guys. I guess 3 technically. Ryan was kind of near the source of the pass, and it went right by Shore, Keith, and Cece, right across the Royal Road, all the way across from Patrick Kane, who made a great pass, to Alex DeBrincat, who made a great shot to bury it from the other side. And just like that, it's 1-0 down, and you're thinking, geez, last night we never scored at all, and it's already 1-0. And of course, within another minute, it was 2-0, and that was effectively the ball game. And then, they got it to 2-1 with a pretty good second period. And you think, come on, in the third, it could be good in the third. And first minute, Draisaitl takes a kind of iffy interference penalty. And again, the PK, just total fail. 20 seconds, puck in net. And, you need a big effort there. And they just, the penalty kill has been horrific for months at this point, 2 months. So, and so they're
part of their shoddy defense, they can't get it done there either.
Well, no, they can't get a save on the PK, and and they keep giving up the cross seam pass when you're allowing these high skilled players lanes to make plays like that. They're going to make plays in this league, even on a team like Chicago. 88-12, and was in the back of that man. Alex DeBrincat had a great game tonight.
So
That's
my bad thing,
for a different reason.
Yeah. These old pains and grievances,
These old draft
grievances.
picks that could have been, he was
right
there.
Yeah.
He was
That's always a little bit dicey. I always find because lots of teams could have had Alex DeBrincat, not just the Edmonton Oilers. So it's not a particular Oilers foible. I mean, that's a league-wide foible. Some people wear.
And he was Connor McDavid's old teammate. They knew who he was. They should have talked to their star player. They should have done it differently.
Maybe they did.
Well, then he's Bruce, a bad scout.
Some people wear that like that's a particular Oilers mistake. That is not a particular Oilers mistake. That's league-wide scouting. All those teams could have taken him, and they all passed.
Yeah. So other teams made mistakes too. Don't get me wrong, but that's that Friday night when the Oilers had the 2nd pick on Saturday morning and he was still on the board. A lot of people were saying, "Hey, look at that guy." Anyway, we got to look at him tonight, didn't we?
Yeah. The Oilers PK. I was going to take that first goal as my bad thing, but you've dealt with that, I think.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
There's lots of other bad things, David.
Yeah,
Smorgasbord.
that was the worst. That cross seam pass through those three guys because all of them were a little bit out of position. Keith and Cece got kind of sucked into the corner, opening up the seam for Patrick Kane. And Devon Shore was just, not down low enough to stop the pass. It was just not good. I'll go with the second goal then, and it was a 3-on-2. Like, come on. They gave up a 2-on-1 in the first 20 seconds of the game, and then another odd man rush. It's like, what is going on? Um, um, that's a line from a reality TV show. Joe Schmo. So on that particular play, Tyson Barrie gets caught up ice. Tyson Barrie, come on, man. And Zach Kassian doesn't come back hard enough on the back check. It's a 3-on-2, and it goes through Cassian's, through Kassian over, and a great shot. But what is with the Oilers? All these odd man rushes. This is just decision making. This is like players misreading the play, and it's happening again and again and again. This is total 1980s hockey, with a team that doesn't have 1980s scoring on it right now.
Minus the winning.
Yeah, minus the winning and minus the goaltending.
Yeah.
So I'll go with that second goal, which was just another
game winner, David. 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the game, Chicago already had what proved to be an insurmountable lead.
Stinkeroo. What's your number, Bruce?
Well, I got some numbers, and they're all kind of related. This is Edmonton's record at home in the last while. When Twitter just went wild on me. They were 9-1-0 in their first 10 games, and in their last 12 home games over a period of over 2 months. This is a product that they're selling. 3-9-0, 2-9-1 in regulation, 23 goals for, 47 goals against. They've been outscored by more than a 2-to-1 ratio on their home ice for 2 months of the National Hockey League season. So, and breaking it down, in those 12 games, twice they got shut out, 5 times they got 1 goal, like tonight. Twice they got all the way up to 2. And then 3 games they scored as many as 3 goals. At the other end of the sheet, they've given up 4 to 6 goals on 7 occasions, 3 goals on 3 more, 2 goals on the other 2, and never once have they held the team to 0 or 1. Like, it's 2007. Like, what's going on? They're just getting smeared in their home ice. Last night was the 4th time this year they've lost a game by 4 goals, and they've all been at home. Like traditionally teams do better at home than they do at the road. Well, this is not a traditional team in that sense. Unfortunately, it's been the Oilers for a long time that they've struggled on their home ice.
What's going on? So that's a famous line. There was a reality TV show called Joe Schmo. And in the show, Bruce, they had this, typically in reality TV shows, they try to put you in humiliating situations, and they made the guests this one, it was like one of these things where you have to eat something horrible, some kind of horrible thing. Each contestant has to eat something horrible. And the whole joke for Joe Schmo was he was the one, everyone else in this reality TV show was an actor, and he was the only one who was a real contestant. He didn't know that. So they gave the other actors terrible things to eat, and they served something to him, and he opens it up, and he looks at it, and he says, "What is it?" And they say, "It's dog shit."
Uh-huh.
And Joe goes, "What's going on?" Bruce, we are being served up dog shit right now by the Oilers, and we are asking the same question.
Yeah.
Okay, my number is 6. So between Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, in total, those 4 really strong offensive hockey players made 6 total major contributions to grade A shots between them at even strength. McDavid usually, at the start of the year, McDavid was averaging 6 per game himself for the first 20 games, 6 a game. So between the four of them, they got 6. Kane was in on 2. McDavid was in on 3, to give him credit. Draisaitl was in on 0. Nugent Hopkins was in on 1. You are not winning hockey games when your superstar players at even strength are getting thwarted against the mighty defensive juggernaut of the Chicago Blackhawks, mind you. Getting thwarted, this isn't being thwarted by the goalie. This is an inability to create grade A shots that we saw from these players tonight. And there's no chemistry on any line.
Doesn't seem to be.
Right now, there is no chemistry on any single Oilers line. And, perhaps to be expected with Kane new to town and they're trying to figure things out. But you can even put McDavid and Draisaitl out there now and there's no chemistry. It's just...
No, last night they did. And the first thing they did was get scored on. Like right away.
What is it? Our Ira Cooper, our Cult of Hockey contributor from Calgary. He, I think he pointed out that since the start of the new year, McDavid's been averaging 1.22 points per game. Was that it?
Per 60 points per 60 at even strength.
Points per 60.
Yeah, like that's really bad. Like that's a fourth line.
Really?
Scoring
that was
per 60. Per 60.
Oh.
And he got another big goose egg at even strength tonight, so that number will have gone down to somewhere below 1.2 points per 60.
That's fourth line scoring.
Yeah. I mean, to put that in perspective, Devon Shore for the year is at 1.4. So he's been scoring at sub Devon Shore rates for all of 2022. Like I don't know. I mean, he's still making some plays, but there's no magic. And when there is magic, like the beautiful pass he threaded through to Zach Hyman in the game's first minute tonight, and Hyman rang up the inside of the goalpost, and it came right across and out between Fleury and the other post. Draisaitl did the same thing in the second period. And, I mean, it's all puck luck thing again. But you know what? Who talks about puck luck the most? Losers. Yeah. Because they're thinking about what went wrong and why they didn't win. And the winners are usually, I mean, if they get puck luck or even if they don't, well, they still won, so they're happy. Well, whereas we're left to say, well, that one hit the inside of the post. No, anyway, they didn't score. And they ain't scoring. I mean,
they are not.
7 games with 1 or 0 goals out of 12 home games.
So thank you, Ira, for pointing that out. That's a great stat from Ira. And it's a distressing stat for Oiler fans. 1.22 or whatever it was, close to that, per 60 minutes. So that's like 4 games of even strength time. 60 minutes of even strength. So ouch. Triple ouch. Quadruple ouch. Bruce.
Anyway, the magic just is gone. I mean, McDavid has 8 points in his last 12 games. And normally he would have, 18 points in that time?
Yeah.
I guess, no, 9
so
points.
We don't know. He did get COVID in there. He got COVID in there, right? So again, we may be seeing the after effects of a bad cold that he had, right? Like, might have really wiped him out. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. So, but he doesn't. Does he seem himself?
No, I don't think he does.
Does he seem? He doesn't seem quite as explosive. Is it fair to say, Bruce?
Yes.
Is that what it is? I think so. Banged up. Maybe he's banged up. We don't know.
Or his little bursts are little bursts, and they don't necessarily, extend to shifts on end or even end to end of a shift. It's things here and there, but the level of dominance that you might expect from a generational player, which he undoubtedly is, you expect that guy to rise up once in a while, flat out win you a game. Well, that hasn't happened for a long time, and it doesn't appear to be in much danger of happening. And it's just it's frustrating and it's surprising and like you say, who knows what's going on behind the scenes. There was whispers on ESPN that he had some kind of knee issue that might have affected his participation in the All-Star game. It didn't. He went, he played, didn't do much there either, but I mean, who cares, honestly. But he's, oh,
I haven't
think,
watched an
think
All-Star
of the,
game since I was a kid.
think of the level of hockey that he was playing last year when he was routinely racking up multi-point games, or even this year, he started out with 7 games in a row of 2+ points. And I think so far this year he had 1 game where he got 2 assists on the power play, and one of them was a secondary assist. And otherwise, it's been 1 or 0. And it's just there's none of the sort of bumps of 3-4 point games that you expect from time to time. They just have not been happening. And it's not that he's not trying. I mean, you can see that he's putting out, and teams are checking him. They're frustrating him. They're getting in the way. They're layering up on him. They're pushing him to the outside and into the corners. And his his passes are not being converted. I mean, tonight the power play secondary assist he got on the power play tonight, that was his first apple in 6 games. This is a guy who's led the league in assists 3 different times now. He had 5 games in a row with 0 assists. So
It's usually we know from watching hockey all these years, it's usually some kind of little injury or bigger injury that a player's playing with. So we that's just, of course, speculation, but
right, or a
that's usually what it is.
health issue of some description, and I'm frankly becoming concerned.
Yeah, well, those numbers merit concern. I mean, 1 per 60.
And the Oilers are not the same team without him playing at a very high level. I mean, we've come to expect that.
Yeah,
and without that, I mean, this team is paper thin.
I don't know what they're going to do now. Keith might be out. Did we hear anything more from him?
No, Keith and Cassian both left this game with shots to the head. Keith went careening into the boards in a similar but faster manner that Patrice Bergeron did, where he sort of stumbled and fell into the boards, and his head came back, and his head hit the boards with the whiplash effect. And Bergeron, we know, is concussed and is missing tomorrow's game. To my eye, Keith hit harder. Of course, every head is different. Every collision has its own specific physics. But if he, he missed all of the rest of tonight's game, which was the last 2 periods plus, and we don't know going forward. And Cassian, he took a deflected shot right in the noggin, and he got up and skated off, and then came back to the bench. But I'm not sure he ever got back in the lineup, and he didn't play in the 3rd period. So 2 people down in addition to another beating by Rocky Wirtz's team. Just walked into Edmonton and stomped the Oilers. That one's pretty hard to take, Dave. To say.
Would you have played Skinner?
Yes, 100%. If you're going to play Smith 2 out of 3, I mean, the question to me was, Skinner plays well tonight. Does he get the start on Friday, or does Smith? But either way, you've got Smith with, a couple days off Friday, a couple more days built into the schedule. Then there's a game Monday. Maybe even go with him Tuesday, Friday, Monday. To come back with him Tuesday, Wednesday, when he hasn't played for over a month, when he's played like 7 games all season. So dating all the way back to, May when the playoffs were? He's played like 7 games in 8 months. Now he's ready to play back-to-back. He gave in 4 on 28 shots last night, and he gave in 4 on 30 shots tonight. And I'm not blaming Mike Smith for this loss like many are. He faced a lot of very tough shots. The 2 goals, the early goals, I mean, I'm not sure how you keep those out, to be honest. And after that, I mean, the commenters on TV, I know some raving about his saves and not ever saying anything when he lets one in, it seems like. But I would not blame Mike Smith for this loss. And I guess he went to the coach and said, I got to get my game back. Really want this game. Well, he really wanted this game. And by the 2:47 mark of the 1st period, it was 0-2 again. 0-2. How'd that happen? Somebody made a meme out of me saying that on a previous podcast. So often the Oilers are looking up at the scoreboard and early going, and it's already 0-2 down. And there it was again. 9 times in those 12 home games they trailed 2-0. 9 out of 12 they trailed 2-0, and 11 out of 12 they trailed 1-0. Like they're never ready. This game was a 6 o'clock start. I was worried that maybe they won't show up till the third period.
It did. I mean, it does. You can say it smacks of a certain amount of desperation to go back to Smith in this game. I don't. Again, these are interpersonal things on a certain level too, and the coach has a certain trust in the player. They know they need this guy to come through. They know they need Mike Smith. If they're going to get through this, they need him to be Mike Smith.
Yeah.
So they're going to treat him like Mike Smith, I guess, and put him in the nets. So I understand that. And I'm not as convinced it was a mistake. It was certainly a gamble. And you can also see the coach engaged in maybe wishful thinking that maybe the Mike Smith who was 35 or 28 could do that. But the 39-year-old Mike Smith, maybe the coach says he rolls with the punches, and he like rolls with change, understands change, and says, no, you're not. Says to Mike, you're not 33 anymore. But then you don't want to just, confidence is a funny thing. So these are tricky decisions. Generally speaking, I think Tippett goes with veteran players. I mean, the player that I think the Oilers took instead of Alex DeBrincat, Tyler Benson. Is that who they took?
Yes,
he was not in the lineup. He wasn't in the lineup, and he should be. He gives the team some energy and some spunk. Like he's an energy player. But coach likes his veterans. So, Devon Shore gets in for another kind of ineffectual game. And Derek Ryan and that whole gang. I mean, I've been saying this forever. Yes, Puljujärvi should be on the PK. He's not going to do any worse than Devon Shore or Derek Ryan. And now that if he's not going to be on the power play, get him some ice time. Get him out there. Get this guy rolling.
Not like they're rolling along, winning games and protecting leads all the time, that they have to be uber careful. I mean,
no.
Darnell Nurse played 29-59 tonight in a game that was it's clearly over halfway through the third period. And obviously Keith was hurt, so he played extra minutes. William Lagesson played 13 minutes tonight, even with a short bench, and even though he absolutely dominated shot shares by 18-5 on his watch. He wasn't perfect, but he got beat on one play.
He got beat on a lot of.
He wasn't alone.
Bruce, he got beat on a lot of plays, according to my count. Like he was he was made major mistakes on 5 grade A shots against, not one contribution to a grade A shot for. So shot shares, I mean, they could be misleading.
Yeah.
And I'm going to suggest
I'll give you that
in terms of Lagesson tonight. All right. What do we got next?
They didn't give him extra ice time on a game when they were losing, running out of time, and they were down a defenseman, and they got a young guy sitting on the bench. And I guess that's more my larger point. And as for Mike Smith, I did hear one thing tonight that I liked from Smith. And some people said he gave one of his teammates a stink eye after he made a big save. But I heard him giving a teammate crap, and it was Tyson Barrie. And Smith came out to play a puck, and he was just inside the trapezoid, and Barrie was sort of behind him and not really doing anything. And Smith was yelling, Tyson, where are you? And then after they lost the puck in Chicago, come on! And he started, sort of giving him hell. You know what? I think maybe the Oilers D-men need some of that, some tough love in terms of telling them what to do to get organized, because they're as disorganized as you can possibly imagine right now.
Well, maybe that's why they go with Smith.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it.
He is. I think he is their. Honestly, I think he's their captain. Like when he's playing, when he's on the ice, he's the captain of this team. He's the guy that makes them go. So hopefully he can get his game together. Hopefully he's healthy, because if he's healthy, he can still play well. I mean, he hasn't been terrible in these games, I don't think. Tonight, I gave him a 5 out of 10. Right? He made some great saves tonight. And, Jack Michael's focused on He's not allowing that third goal. He's given Edmonton a chance to stay. That was completely correct. He gave Edmonton, and actually the Oilers, they had tons of grade A shots in the second period. They could have come back, but Marc-Andre Fleury was that much better. I thought we had traded for him already, but I guess not. All right.
I don't think Vegas, it's all, I don't think Vegas would have sent him to a divisional rival. They wanted to send him
No, I
somewhere
mean, I
safe.
thought Chicago traded him to us.
That
was the rumor
yes.
about a month ago. All right, Bruce. Who do we got next? Friday night?
New York Islanders on Friday night to end another remarkable homestand. So, I mean, I'll state the obvious. I got to turn this one around quick. This 2-game losing streak can't possibly extend to be a 5-gamer like the previous 2 did. And, they're running out of racetrack here. And, they're already in the second half of the season. They're trying to play from behind, and their biggest advantage is games in hand. Well, those are only any good if you win them. At least get points out of them. 2 home games, 1 for, 8 against.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for talking tonight, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our rants, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.